bringing you beignets. So get ready. This one is truthfully an absolute Cajun French favorite. If you all have ever been down in New Orleans area, Cafe du Monde, oh my. These babies are pockets full of golden goodness. It's basically a donut. So for those of you that do not know, it's a Cajun French cuisine dessert actually. And oh, heaven sent. And again, Cafe du Monde has been making these since 1862. So that's almost 160 years, y'all. They're doing something right. And they come out piping hot. And you can sprinkle powdered sugar goodness all over these things. Even if you want, you can top it off with like a raspberry jam. You do you, but again, y'all, these, get ready. If you're craving something like a donut, kick it up a notch and try these beignets. So let's get started cooking. So what you'll need is a packet of yeast, and I use a whole entire packet in this recipe. This recipe, I've cut it in half before. It makes about, 8 to 12, but the whole entire recipe will bring you about, say, 24 to even 36 beignets, depending upon how you cut them. So again, a packet of yeast, 3/4 cup of warm water. So with the water, this is going to help activate the yeast, and that's going to be the first step in this whole entire process. I'm going to walk you through it again like I do in many of my recipes if you all have, stayed tuned to my segments, but that I'm going to break this all down. But this is going to be a process. I mean, you're making dough. You're making homemade beignets in your kitchen. So it's going to, the thing is the waiting period. But once you get that out of the way, oh my gosh, you're going to make your whole entire family, neighbors, friends, everyone craving and excited for beignets. So again, that's 3/4 cup of warm water, 105, no more than 110 degrees, because then that will kill the yeast. You're gonna need about a 1/3 cup of sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. You can also use the vegetable shortening if you prefer, but something about, I'm from the South. I love, some shortening in my baked goods here and there. But something about that golden butter too in this recipe adds some, some wonderful rich goodness. 1 egg, and then 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cup of milk. And again, this is going to be a whole milk. You can do evaporated if you want in the can. It's up to you. So 3/4 cup whole milk or evaporated. And then I have 3½ cup of an all-purpose flour. I went on and I poured the yeast into the water. I also have a thermometer to test. If you all have like a candy thermometer or a thermometer, cooking thermometer, that's gonna help you in this. Now what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna stir that yeast, and then now we're gonna add that 1/3 cup of sugar. All right, so we've been letting this sit. It's been about 5 minutes now. What you're gonna notice, because we fed the yeast the sugar, and this is a blooming process, you guys. So basically what it's going to be doing is it helps to feed the yeast and kickstart our proofing is what we're basically doing. So this can take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. So once we start seeing a little more bubbles, we know that the yeast has activated. So see, it's already starting to bubble. All right, so as you can see, our yeast has been activating. It's forming a froth on top. We're looking for, a bubbly, frothy goodness. And so, then again, we know it's activated. So we can go on. What I'm going to do is just start pouring it into this bowl. And then I'm going to add 3/4 cup of whole milk. Again, like I stated, you could use evaporated. And then that's 1 egg. Go on and break 1 egg. 3/4 teaspoon of a salt. And then I mix this up. Although this is your wet ingredient. And I add a teaspoon of a vanilla. The 2 tablespoons of room temperature butter. I kind of just run it across my bowl before I add it to the pan, smooth it out so it's not so clumpy in the dish. Now I go on and I add the 3½ cup of flour, divided, you guys. So I do half now. I start getting it into that mix, and then I add another later. So what I'm gonna do is try to Get this butter dissolved in this flour and all this goodness working together. I got my whisk. Y'all can use your KitchenAids or a mixer if you want to. This is when you can use your whisk setting, and then you'll eventually get to your dough hook there. Got some flour stuck up in there. You need every bit of that. So back to my wood spoon, and as y'all can see, I'm trying to get every bit of this flour into this dough mixture. And we're looking for kind of like, when you touch it, it's not gonna be sticky, see? It's not really sticking to my hand. And that's what you're gonna want. I mean, this is gonna be like a donut dough. So again, see, no sticking to the hand. So that's what you're gonna want. It's coming along perfectly. And then, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna knead it. And so you're gonna knead for about a good 5 to 8 minutes. Push-pull method, so push, pull, bring to you. Push, pull, bring to you. You can do one hand, you can do two. But again, what you're gonna look for, you're gonna feel it, you guys, and it's gonna be like, you're wanting like an air cloud type soft dough. So that's what we're shooting for. So we've got a beautiful dough ball. It's soft, it's cloud-like. This is what you're wanting. And then I have gone on and greased and with vegetable oil my bowl. And so we're gonna go on and we're gonna place it into the bowl. I like to flip it, you know, let that bowl, you know, the dough, something about getting it smooth on one side. So we're gonna let this rest, y'all. We're gonna cover it, seal it, let it rest. You can do the damp towel method does not work. Oh no. It causes it to be sticky. So a dry towel, some saran wrap, and then a dry towel. You want a draft-free place, and it's going to rest, and it's going to take about an hour. I know, you want these beignets right now. All sealed up. This is gonna double in size. The dough is going to double in size, you guys. So it's gonna, again, draft-free place. Now our dough has doubled. I'm gonna punch it to activate that yeast. So now we're gonna get ready to do is we're gonna bring it over here to a floured surface that I have, nicely floured. So I have a parchment sheet of paper lined in my baking dish. We're gonna get ready, guys, to cut these beignets. Traditional New Orleans Café du Monde beignets, they're kind of like a square. You choose. I mean, we're gonna want about a 1/2 inch thick and roll in the dough. So I floured my pan nicely. I've got this sheet, you know. You can use your counter if you need to. Just don't cut through your counters, but yeah. So, and you can use a pizza cutter, a knife or a pizza cutter to cut the dough. So we're gonna get ready. We're gonna roll this about a 1/2 inch thick. And if you do them too thin, it would be in paper. If you do them too thick, it's just gonna be a wadded mess. Okay, so again, I'm rolling them about a 1/2 inch thick, you guys. You're gonna roll them out a 1/2 inch thick. A little less you could, like I said, I wouldn't do much more than about a 1/2 inch. So we're gonna get ready to cut. All right, so we went ahead and we cut them, you guys. And again, you know, the traditional Café du Monde, they do about 2 inch by 2 inch squares. You know, play with them. I mean, I did rectangles, I did squares. My girls came in, they did some shapes. If you have cookie cutters, that's great. Have fun with these, you know. Wouldn't do more than, you know, 1/2 inch thick. You want to keep them kind of thin so that they will puff up. And so, again, have them all cut out. And then what you'll do here, and I know another waiting stage, but I like to wait a good 20 minutes after cutting, because what I find is just let them rise again to that potential that, you know, they need to be, I know, before I'm about to drop them in. Either if you have a fryer, a commercial fryer at home would work great, and we do, but I'm going to show you in an iron skillet. Café du Monde uses cottonseed oil. Cottonseed oil, if you want to go that route, you can find at a Bass Pro Shop or even your academy. So I didn't have any on hand. What I went ahead and did is you want a high temperature oil. So I would do, like, I'm going to go with peanut oil today. A peanut, a vegetable, avocado, any type of oil that can withstand a high temp. So we're gonna go ahead and heat up the stove. Got our iron skillet going, 360 degrees. So you're gonna wanna use like tongs. You could do a fork. I wouldn't poke the beignets, and or a spider web netting. If you want to flip, you know, given if you have a bigger pot, a Dutch oven even would work with this dish. And if y'all have a thermometer, that's a great way to check this oil. I wouldn't let it get past a 370. Like I said, we're going for hot. Went ahead and lined a baking sheet with some paper towels for draining, and oil is ready to drop. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just start dropping these wonderful beignets. So y'all don't overfill your pan. And another trick is this. This is gonna help them puff. You wanna run that oil over your beignets. See how they're puffing? That is the trick to a puffy beignet. So cook about a good 1 to 2 minutes on each side. Here we go, dropping some more. Don't overcrowd your pan. 1 to 2 minutes on each side. And again, there's that trick. Puffing up them beignets. Flip. Look at that golden goodness. You're looking for a good gold. You know, light to gold. And again, like I stated, cooking up, guys. Beautiful pillows of dough. So good, so good. Pull them off the grease. Set them aside. You're gonna sprinkle the powdered sugar magic. A little more. Oh, you want a little more. You're saying you want, this is the goodness, you guys. These babies right here, this is what you're looking for. This is a CajuN beignet. These are Louisiana beignets. About as close as you're gonna get to a Cafe du Monde pillow of heaven in your mouth. So, this, Louisiana, a French beignet will be hollow. So if you've ever come across those, nothing in the inside, that's a French. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you all truly enjoy these again from the One Blonde Chef.